What's going on, Royal Alliance? Welcome back to a brand new Star Wars Battlefront 2 hero speculation video. Now, the other night I did watch Star Wars The Force Awakens, and when I was watching it, it got me thinking, what can I take from this film which would apply to EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2 if the heroes in that game are from The Force Awakens? So what do the characters in The Force Awakens actually do that could be taken and used as a hero ability? Now, there was a few things for a few characters, and then in other characters there was absolutely nothing at all, so it was just kind of left up to pure speculation, which, you know, there's no hints for. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the Resistance side, because I actually managed to come up with less for the Resistance side, which is Poe Dameron, Rey, and Finn, than I did for the First Order side, which I thought would be Captain Phasma, General Hux, and Kylo Ren. Obviously, Supreme Leader Snoke could actually come into EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2 as a hero, and he could also come into Episode 8 as a more prominent character with, you know, abilities and things like that. But for now, we have nothing to go off, so that is why he is not in the First Order side. So, let's start off with Rey herself, which I imagine is going to be a lot of people's favourite character, since she is now the sort of Jedi-type character in the Star Wars universe. The first ability I came up with Rey was when she was in her final fight with Kylo Ren at the end of the movie. This is called Saber Fury, and I'm guessing this is going to be something like Luke's Heavy Strike, where Rey actually lunges towards the enemies, dealing more damage than a normal lightsaber attack actually would. So it kind of would work exactly like Luke's sort of Force Rush Heavy Strike, but obviously with Rey, and she wouldn't sort of like dash forward, it would just be more of a lunge, because she isn't in control of her powers fully yet, but it could change with Episode 8, so keep that in mind for the rest of these abilities. Her second ability, I guessed, could be Mind Trick. Now, this would work in a way that it would confuse enemy troopers, making the AI take control of the enemy troopers nearby, and this would go up to a maximum of 3 enemy troopers, and this would cause them to shoot at fellow stormtroopers, dealing them damage and possibly killing them off. Now, I think this would be a really cool ability to see. If you're a stormtrooper fighting alongside other stormtroopers in EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2, and then Rey comes around the corner, uses Mind Trick, and tricks a few of your friendly troopers into shooting at you, I think it would make the game quite interesting, but a lot of people would probably get mad. Her third and final ability I came up with would be Rapid Fire. Now, this would work similar to Han Solo's Rapid Fire, because Rey isn't fully in control of her powers, doesn't know 110% about lightsaber, you know, styles and things like that, so she still could rely on her pistol quite a bit. So Rey would obviously switch to her pistol, which we've seen in the Force Awakens movie, and it would allow her to shoot as many shots as possible within a certain time period. These shots wouldn't lock onto any enemies though, they would just be completely sort of free firing shots. Next up is Poe. Now for Poe, right at the start of the film, we get to see him take a very powerful shot at Kylo Ren. Now, I took this as some sort of sniper blast, which is what I guessed the ability would be called if it was going to be an ability. And this would allow Poe to fire one stronger than normal blaster shot in a sort of sniper type mode, which he would like make his blaster, because it does seem sort of semi-automatic sniperish, and it would take out stormtroopers in one hit. I think this would be a really cool ability, and it would be a bit of a different thing considering Poe's a pilot and he would have a blaster to use. The second ability I thought for Poe would be X-Wing support, and it would allow Poe to call in friendly X-Wings or take control of his own X-Wing in the larger game modes, which would allow the Resistance to dominate the skies. Now, these friendly AI X-Wings that would be called in or possibly controlled by other teammates would be able to shoot at the ground and take out First Order stormtroopers, so not only would they dominate the skies, they would also dominate the battleground more. His third ability, I couldn't really come up with anything, because after a while in the film, Poe kind of vanishes, and then he's only ever in his X-Wing, which is where the X-Wing support ability came from. So if you have any third ability for Poe that you think could happen, let me know down in the comment section below. Finally, we have Finn, and the only ability I could come up with for Finn is Trooper Lock, and this would be similar to Leia's Trooper Bane, but it would automatically lock onto enemies at close range. Now, it wouldn't be a full lock-on, it would just be a bit of a slight lock-on, so if he was aiming close to stormtroopers, it would lock on. If he was completely aiming the opposite side of the map where the stormtroopers were, it wouldn't just like fly around behind them and hit one of them. You would actually have to be looking at them at least a tiny bit for the shot to lock on and actually hit them. I don't think this would be a one-shot kill. Maybe it would be, I'm not exactly sure. I am just speculating about abilities. If you can think of 2 more abilities for Finn, then let me know down in the comment section below, and I possibly will be doing another video like this in the future. Now we move on to the First Order. Now for the First Order I chose, obviously again, Kylo Ren, Captain Phasma and General Hux, and we're going to start with Kylo Ren. The first ability I came up with for Kylo Ren was Saber Rage, because in The Force Awakens, when he gets told bad news or he sees something that he doesn't like, he takes out his lightsaber and beats the hell out of any equipment or the environment around him that he's actually in. So when this ability is actually activated, it could allow Kylo Ren to strike multiple times with his lightsaber in a short space of time, and could potentially allow him to jump from enemy to enemy, kind of like how Jyn Erso's baton ability actually works. The second ability, which is the obvious one, is the Force Freeze. He did use this on Poe and Rey in The Force Awakens, and it would allow him to freeze nearby enemies in place for a short period of time, allowing him or friendly troopers, or even friendly heroes, to take them down unopposed. His third ability was a bit harder, but I managed to come up with something that I thought was quite cool, and this would be called Call on the Dark Side. Now in The Force Awakens you get to see him talking to Darth Vader's burnt helmet and like telling Darth Vader, you know, show me the power of the dark side. So when Kylo Ren actually activates the Call on the Dark Side ability, it would boost Kylo's attack damage and damage resistance for a short period of time, allowing him to embrace the dark side and become a beast basically. Next up we have Captain Phasma. Now for her abilities I came up with Backup Troopers, which would allow more efficient stormtroopers to spawn near her or on her, and the maximum would be 3. They would have more health and do more damage than normal stormtroopers, but they might not have abilities. Since they aren't technically special stormtroopers, they're just stormtroopers with a bit more training really. For her second ability I came up with a similar thing to what Poe Dameron has, but Captain Phasma's would be called TIE Fighter Support, and this would allow Phasma to call in friendly TIE Fighters or TIE Bombers to do strafe runs near the objectives on the map or in a close vicinity to where she is looking. Kind of like how the TIE Strikers work in the Rogue One Scarif DLC pack on the current Star Wars Battlefront. If you can come up with a third ability for Captain Phasma, then let me know down in the comment section below again, and again I might do another video like this in the future. For General Hux, I managed to come up with something similar to what Director Krennic has in the Rogue One Scarif DLC pack, and this is called Wrath of the First Order, and this would boost nearby friendlies' health and damage while also boosting his own for a short period of time. This would pretty much work exactly like Director Krennic's, because General Hux does next to nothing in The Force Awakens, so it's really hard to come up with abilities for him. However, he does sort of call in the Starkiller Base Strike. So his second ability could actually be the Starkiller Base Strike, which would be kind of similar to how the orbital strikes work for Nai and Num in the current Star Wars Battlefront. This could have 2 potential options. These are what I came up with for this ability. Again, it's just speculation. This might not happen, or, you know, if it happens then I'm a genius. The first option is for one big orbital strike in a specific location that he's looking at, and he could call it in and it would come down and destroy everything that is within that sort of area. The second option is for 3 smaller, less powerful strikes to happen on the map in various locations, and it can also take out enemy fighters if they happen to fly sort of underneath the shots while it is happening. If you can think of any abilities for General Hux that are better than these, please let me know in the comment section below, like I've said before, because it was really hard to come up with abilities for him. Let me know down in the comment section as well what you think of this type of video. Do you want more EA Star Wars Battlefront 2 speculation type videos? And do you want to see more sort of concept arts for EA Star Wars Battlefront 2? These are just fan-made though, they're not, you know, official. Make sure to smash a like on this video if you have enjoyed it and if you want to support these type of videos and see more of them. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to join the Aurora Alliance and be kept up to date with all things Star Wars, especially Star Wars gaming. Other than that, may the Force be with you.